4 of my kids are married, and it's happened where they'd come and say, you know what, would you consider such and person? I say, where do you know him from? Nowadays, it's different. Before, we used to want to know, where do you know him from? I know probably wherever, because the world is broad and wide. Could be at school, could be at college, could be at university. Could be on Instagram, could be on TikTok, could be on Facebook, right? Could have been wherever. Is it haram? Is it haram for me to come up and say, I met someone on Instagram, I'd like to get married maybe, or I'd like to consider marriage? Look, it's not perhaps the ideal, original, old way of doing things, but it's not necessarily haram. So many people, you have a marriage app. You are allowed to use it, but don't be conned, because that space is dangerous. That's what I'm telling you. Don't be conned. That space is dangerous. One of the most important organs that you have is your heart. The hadith says, Ala wa inna fil jasadi la mudghah. إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب. Behold, in the body there is a piece of flesh. That is what? There is a piece of flesh. If it is good, the whole body is good. If it is diseased and sick, the whole body will be diseased and sick. Indeed, that is the heart. That heart, subhanallah, look after it. Don't give it to anyone easily. The people who introduced you to the drugs are already off those drugs, but you are the one who remained. You need to work harder, do better. The people who introduced you to the clubs have left the clubs. You are the one who's still stuck there. The people who perhaps might have introduced you to a sin, they've left it long time ago. They've plugged in with Allah. They've realized it was a phase where we were in the trap of shaitan, and we've divorced ourselves from that. You know what the right thing is. You should do it, and you must push yourself, because if you don't push yourself, nobody is going to push you. You are the one who will lose out. When we go to Mecca for Umrah, you see the people and you tell yourself, wow, Allah's brought them from all over the world. Some of them have saved up for years. I was in Indonesia not too long ago. They told me between 30 and 40 years it takes for a person to go for Hajj after they've registered their names. So they register at the age of 20, they end up going at the age of 55, 60. Do you believe that? Subhanallah. And this is why a lot of them are older people, because it's not so easy to go. They have a quota. They have more than 250, 280 million people in the country. And so many want to go for Hajj, they just can't cope. And this is happening with more and more countries. When you go and you see them crying to Allah, where are your tears? Have you ever cried to Allah? Have you ever got up in the middle of the night and said, oh Allah, forgive me, help me, strengthen me, love me, oh Allah? Times getting worse. The Prophet ﷺ says, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ. The best of people, my generation, and then the next, and then the next. So the general movement is that people are getting worse and more distant from Allah as time is passing. So it's not the norm, but it's general, which means you have exceptions to that. There will be a lot of pious people in the midst. But if we are getting worse, surely I look at myself all the time, say, today, how did shaitan come to me? How? And then I said, you know what? I commented here and there. Let me delete all of this. Astaghfirullah. I'm still alive. I can delete it. But if I were to die and all that was there, nothing so bad. But sometimes, you know what people do? They attack you online and they don't realize if you were to attack them back, they would be doomed. So sometimes you remain silent, sometimes you say something quietly, this way, that way. And then when you say something and they start saying, oh wow, you know, it's affected me and my family. Oh, so it didn't affect me and my family. What, am I made from a different substance altogether? Like, do I not have family, kids and all? Did you not be ashamed of yourself when you were talking about me without knowing me? And now that I just said something and here you are, what type of peace would you want? And it's so unfair. So I do this often where I look back at what I've done and I say, no, I don't want to die and have this on. Let me take it off. So it's off. It's gone. Or not only online, but even in life. Something happened, try and make amends with the person. You have a day today, you're alive. You are alive. The Prophet ﷺ says, whoever has anything with their brother, sort it out today before the day will come when you won't be able to sort it out this way here. Sometimes I think, I'll see you on the day of judgment. Have you heard people say that? I'll see you on the day of judgment. Hey, when you get to the day of judgment, what if you were wrong and they were right? Too late. This guy stole £1 million of mine. See you on the day of judgment. Wow, okay, fair. Just take him to court now, sort out the million. And for my advice, give me 10%. It's fine. Won't ask you for more than that, right? When it comes to the point where you can't, then you say, okay, either you say, you know what, I forgive them, but I don't want to tell them I forgive them. just because I don't want them to know that I've forgiven them. Someone asked me a question recently, can I forgive someone without telling them I've forgiven them? I said, by all means, you can. But don't go to them and say, I haven't forgiven you. And in your heart say, I know I've forgiven them. You don't have to talk about it. You can just say, you know what, I've released it from me because it's a mountain on you. But inshallah, on the day of judgment, I don't wish to see harm against them. I know someone who's harmed me probably more than the harm that most of you would have faced throughout your lives. And I tell you what, a day came when I told myself that, you know what, I just release it for the sake of Allah. And that's the day I felt so beautiful, because a huge burden gone.